New Zealand and Fiji. Our match commentators once again are Grant Nisbet and Earl Curtin.
Thanks, Tony. Good afternoon, everyone. Lancaster Park was a buzz last Saturday after the marvellous contest between Scotland and France. Today it's the turn of New Zealand and Fiji in front of this very good midweek crowd at Lancaster Park. New Zealand's campaign started with a 70-6 annihilation of Italy, and Fiji upset the odds with a stunning 28-9 win over Argentina. With me once again is former All Black and current Wellington coach Earl Curtin. And Earl, it seems the Fijians, by making 9 changes to their side this afternoon, are concentrating more on their game against Italy next Saturday than on this one.
Yes, I think psychologically New Zealand have really beaten Fiji already on 2 counts. It's more or less the Fijian second team, and they've conceded that that is almost so. And secondly, that the Fijians really revere the All Blacks, and I don't think they'll play anywhere near as well against guys that they think that are the supreme players in terms of the rugby world. New Zealand forwards will have to be terribly tight too, I think. They'll be as tight as canned sardines almost, and endeavouring not to leave any titbits or scraps of loose ball for Fiji to what we say, snivel up. So New Zealand backs, I can imagine too, will be very keen to stay on their feet and their tackles. I can imagine Fiji will probably turn around and will be getting into kamikaze tackles like they did against the Argentine last week at Hamilton, and therefore spill the ball onto the deck, because that's what they've got to do if they're going to maintain or gather any ball to run. And like William Webb Ellis, they sure will pick it up and run.
So the scene's set here at Lancaster Park. It's a beautiful day, a good midweek crowd in here for this Pool 3 clash between New Zealand and Fiji. This lineup shows 9 changes from the team which beat Argentina and Hamilton. However, a number of key players are still there. Fullback Severo Koroduadua is a game turner with his powerful running and prodigious kicking. The wingers Vama and Tuvulu both have plenty of pace. Halfback Paulo Nawado added plenty to the Fijian effort when he came on as a replacement at Hamilton. Big number 5, Iliatia Savai, could prove troublesome to the All Blacks in the lineouts. The side is led from number 8 by Kalinio Rakaroy. The All Blacks have retained the same backline as beat Italy at Eden Park last Friday. Look for frequent incursions into the line from fullback John Gallagher. This should provide the scoring chances for Kirwan and Green, both of whom scored 2 in Auckland. In the forward lineup, John Drake replaces Richard Lowe to give the Auckland University club 4 players in the test match, equaling a record held by another Auckland club, Ponsonby, since 1907. The other change brings the local boy Albert Anderson in at lock to replace Murray Pearce. David Kirk, again the All Black captain this afternoon. And so on to Lancaster Park come the 2 sides. David Kirk leading the All Blacks, Kalinio Rakaroy the Fijians.
Heavens above, as you can see these chaps coming out, there's one thing that you do notice is that they're so incredibly large. I don't think there's any such thing as having smaller backs. They're all almost the same size. Tremendous stature really for guys that can play, and they all play the same way. I mean, they're all loosies and then they're all backs, and that's, I think, part of the excitement that they create wherever they play in the world.
The Fijians gathering down towards the southern end, remembering they won the toss and will play from right to left as we see it in the first half.
Yes, there's quite a strong sun, and as they won the toss, I think they're rather foolish, because I think New Zealand will put a lot of balls up when they do win ball, and I would have, if I'd won the toss, certainly gone Italy.
Referee this afternoon is Derek Bevan from Wales, flanked by Roger Quittenden on the right and Fred Howard on the left. Roger Quittenden, a late replacement for Clive Norling, who was down to do this game but is indisposed, and so Roger Quittenden running the line this afternoon.
Bevan refereed very well when he was out here last year, and I think perhaps that these New Zealand, Northern Hemisphere referees might actually be getting the message that we feel very strongly out here that they let advantage go.
Big thrill for the Southbridge farmer Albert Anderson today. He plays his first home test match. It's on the ground he knows so well here at Lancaster Park. And now we stand by for the Themby, the war cry from the Fijians. Traditional reply from the New Zealand All Blacks.
There's one quite interesting point to today's game. Cama has actually moved from the centre to the wing, and he's there obviously as a big tackler, and he is a good tackler, to mark John Kirwan. So that could be interesting on this right-hand side.
The Fijians won the toss. They've decided to play from right to left. Grant Fox about to get this second match for both sides underway in pool 3 on a beautiful day here at Lancaster Park. Derek Bevan of Wales signals time on, and away we go. New Zealand versus Fiji at Lancaster Park. Early charge by the New Zealand forwards. 20 metres out from the Fijian line. David Kirk searching for it desperately in the first 30 seconds of the game.
Well, that just exemplifies the pattern that New Zealand will play. Good tight run. Lucy's getting up there, charging the ball down, and then driving it into touch.
Short line out from the Fijians. The big man, Thama, Savai, Rakaroi in there. Dangerous stuff in front of the goalpost, but it wasn't thrown in straight. So Derek Bevan takes them back to 15 metres infield, and he'll set a scrum in a good attacking position for New Zealand.
Well, this is going to be interesting because this is where the Fijians were weak against the Argentinians.
Steve McDowell on the far side of the New Zealand scrum. Kirk feeds. The charge from Shelford, trying the left though straight away. Craig Green. First class try number 100 for Craig Green. It's worked so many times before, the left-o movement, and Craig Green waltzes in to score New Zealand's first try after just 1 minute. Wayne Shelford takes it off the back. David Kirk draws the winger in, and Craig Green, in front of his home crowd at Lancaster Park, scores his 100th first-class try.
Well, it was very easy here. The space was created because David Kirk took 2 men out, as you noticed there, and left Green very free. That was rather naive. One should have held with Craig Green, particularly his marker and winger.
Electric start by New Zealand. Rather a scratchy start on their first match against Italy, but this has been decisive. What a start by the All Blacks. 6 points to 0, 1.5 minutes gone.
Yes, it's going to be a problem for the Fijians, is the scrum. It was a good All Black scrum, and they didn't hold the ball very long in the back either. They quickly got it away, which I like. I don't like hanging on to it in the back of the scrum. It makes it difficult to penetrate in the blind if you do. It was very quick delivery, quick strike, quick delivery, and a simple try.
Severo Koroduadua to restart for Fiji. Stung by an early All Black assault. Chance here for the Fijian backs. Breakdown though at first 5/8. Koroduadua. They really are at 6s and 7s. The All Blacks hustling through. Oh, and Gary Whetton has pulled up just over the 22 there. Holding the knee, I think.
He sort of got entangled with the Fijian winger, and they both hit their knees and legs as they went down. He tripped over the leg.
Gary Whetton has had troubles with his knee over the years. Let's just go back and see whether we can watch Gary Whetton came charging through, attempting to kick the ball, and simply pulled up.
Well, he actually hit Davula there, as I suggested. He went across and Davula went for it and he went for it, and they both hit knees almost. I don't think it'd be too bad, because it was more a knock on the face of the knee rather than on the ligamentos.
Michael Jones gives his opposite number, Sami Vunivalu, bit of a shove. In front of Jones, number 6 is Alan Whetton. In front of him, Wayne Shelford. Albert Anderson rising high. David Kirk's kept it in, gave it to Albert Anderson. All Blacks again on the charge, just 15 metres out. Still tied up in the bowels of the maw. All Blacks still crabbing towards the line, only a couple of metres out now. And the whistle went, as it so often does, just as the ball emerges.
Yes, it's certainly the way to play it. No scraps there.
There's a flag extended. Roger Quittenden has got his flag out. Next time you're in the clubhouse was the warning, and
the big
Grant
clubhouse.
Fox.
Big clubhouse. I don't know, I get more and more frustrated when I see, you know, referees come in so much, and here you'll see probably the instance here, a bit of pulling out of the ruck, but I can't actually see what went on there, and neither could the referee.
Sean Fitzpatrick was on the receiving end of a haymaker. Well, there's been considerable comment over the years regarding the preparation and style of Grant Fox's goal kicking. So let's hear how he does it from the man himself.
The whole thing for me is preparation, sort of mentally preparing myself to kick. And really the whole thing is just relaxation. And I say to myself at the start of each kick, you know, just relax, head down, follow through. And those 3 words are really the key to it. My breathing exercises are something that Jim Blair taught me in 1984 when I had trouble against Sydney one day, missing the close ones and getting the wide ones, and he gave me this breathing routine, and it certainly helps me relax a little bit, and I think it helps in my all-round kicking.
Chance for the All Blacks. Got to control it now here under the post, taken ahead by McDowell. Should come nicely for Kirk. No, it's come on the Fijian side. The All Blacks losing it. Attempting to clear it was Koroduadua. Bray Green to Gallagher. Support from Kirk. Green again, changes direction of play. Back to Warwick Taylor over the 22. All Blacks really hunting as a pack here. Joe Stanley standing wide on the right wing side. Now the All Black forces can gather again just out from the 22. Ripped away by Gary Whetton. John Gallagher. Sprint for the corner. Yes! John Gallagher has his first test try.
Well, yes, that was. It was again a very simple move from the ruck that ensued, because most of the Fijians were in it.
Long build-up from the All Blacks, finished off by Craig Green, who was standing in with John Gallagher running wide out on the left wing side, and Gallagher doing everything right, the ball in the right hand, plenty of pace, and he dived in at the corner.
As well, he had plenty of space because it was a good wide pass from Kirk, and it gave them a lot of clearance with a wide blind side. And with gas like that, that's all you need. And that's Johnny Gallagher, a la Wellington, giving it the gas and diving for the corner.
Just his second international, John Gallagher. Beautifully struck by Grant Fox, but not on target. So 8 minutes gone in the match, as the Fijian team and supporters somewhat stunned by this early reversal.
Well, I think they're being far too silly. I mean, to run it is fine, but to be running around on your own goal line and trying to find guys with reverse passes is just suicide, particularly against an All Black back row.
Koroduadua. Gary Whetton takes it in. No, he doesn't. Loses control of it. The Fijians now have an opportunity 10 metres outside the 22 in All Black territory. There it is for Nawalu. Rocco Waloa has support from big prop forward Tanga. Now a chance to see the Fijian backline in action. Good tackle on Lovakura though. 10 metres out from the 22. Still in All Black territory in centre field.
Notice the difference there. Jones was in like a flash to have grabbed that ball and tie it up. He really got there quickly. You see the last man getting up now.
Michael Jones in just his second match on Lancaster Park. Played here for the Auckland Colts a couple of years ago. Gallagher on the blind side. This is for Kirwan to run onto. Nicely judged kick by John Gallagher. He's done everything right in the first 10 minutes of this game, John Gallagher.
Yes, he was keeping that ball short so as it didn't go way down to Koroduadua, who everyone worries about in this tournament with the big boot.
Big John Drake in the front row there for the All Blacks. In the front is Steve McDowell, behind him Albert Anderson jumping at 2. This is aimed for Alan Whetton. It's tapped in fact by Jones. Drake felt that he was offside, couldn't go down after it. And it was Sean Fitzpatrick who was finally offside. Severo Koroduadua kicking for touch. He's on his own 10-metre line.
This is quite unusual too, placing the ball on a very still day. It's a beautiful day here. Placing the ball to go to touch is most unusual. Yeah, it is for such a lovely, balmy Christchurch day.
Sabai, man who played for Waikato last year in the middle of the line out for Fiji. Beautifully taken in by Alan Whetton. 8 metres in All Black territory. Fox to Taylor. Joe Stanley saw the gap, had good support from Michael Jones. Really running hard, Jones. Craig Green. Oh, this is going to be a superb try. Full marks to Michael Jones. It was Craig Green who scored it, but it was Jones who set it up. Classic move from the All Blacks. The big charge came from Joe Stanley. He was held up, and like every good flank forward, Michael Jones was on the charge. And look at the pace running away from the Fijians, and also the intelligence to see that Craig Green was looming, and Green had the straight run in. A well taken All Black try.
Yes, it was absolutely classical. Where do we want your flanker? Whenever you're going down in the backs, right on your shoulder. And that's exactly where he was. And then he accelerated away, but what a fine pass too from a forward. Set Craig Green free, and he had the space and really no one to beat. But fine work by the All Blacks. They're really firing. They might have been slow against Italy. They're really going well here.
Two more to New Zealand, and that's the scoreline after just 12 minutes play. What an impact this man's making on the World Cup. As I said earlier, just his second match at Lancaster Park, his first ever first-class game on this famous ground.
Yes, Murray's been coaching him, no doubt, in terms of the way he's playing, and he's playing he's obviously a man with a lot of talent.
Albert Anderson leaping high. All Blacks playing with confidence. Here's John Kirwan. Are we going to see another one of those runs? Had to hang on to it. David Kirk overran. Taken on now by Fitzpatrick. Rampaging All Blacks. 10 metres out from the 22. Jones tidied again. Stanley. Gallagher needs the support. He's got it from Kirwan. Everybody's having a run in the All Black team. John Drake this time. Little untidy from the All Blacks. The Fijians really are at 6s and 7s. There's props out on the wing. They're all over the show at the moment. Here it finally comes to Nawalu, out to Johnny Kumbu.
Yes, so it's good football, but it's also good football from the All Blacks too. They raced into that ruck and spewed it back very quickly. And what do backs like most? Fast, quick ball. And it's making it easy for them. Passing the backs wasn't as good that time. Otherwise, they could have had another score on the left.
That's the 10-metre line in All Black territory, just to the right of the line-out. Untidy for Grant Fox, but he took it in well. Made it almost to the 10-metre line. And a penalty against the All Blacks. So this could be a scoring opportunity for Fiji, their first in the game.
Yes, well, it's really only one side in it at present, and they can't free enough ball, as I suggested before we started, that it's going to be basically this pattern, I'd say, through most of this game. I do hope they do get some, though, just for the sake of crowd and help their concentration, their psyche a wee bit.
The man they call Super Boot on the 10-metre line in All Black territory, Severo Koroduadua. Stroked it well. Lovely kick. Fiji on the board.
Yes, I think that was the word you used there. He stroked it well, and that's what you have to do with these balls. They're worried about the synthetic nature of them rather than being constructed of leather, and I think this is a bit of the gripe that most of the players have had in this tournament. They're finding them hard to kick, as no doubt you've all heard out there.
Minutes gone in the game. The All Blacks have 16 points on the board already. Paulo Nawalu reaching into the ruck to try and grab it. Finally has. The kick from Rokawailoa. Gallagher read it well. About to initiate another counter-attack, John Gallagher. Here's an opportunity, though, for the Fijians. There's plenty of pace on the right wing side there from Tavula. but he's hacked it into touch on the full.
Yes, he played well against the Argentinian of the Waikato too. He certainly has got a lot of pace. He actually looks a wee bit short though, I noticed there, after his clash with Gary Whetton earlier on, the first 5 minutes of this game.
Albert Anderson going high, got it on the second take for the All Blacks, had support from Wayne Shelford. Carried on by Sean Fitzpatrick. Now it's there for Kirk. Fox. Just lost concentration for a moment, Grant Fox, as he tried to deliver it on. Referee playing at advantage. Gallagher. And the kick from John Kirwan is into touch on the full. Good application of the rule by Derek Bevan. Waited from some advantage, and there was finally to Fiji.
Fiji aren't getting much ball at 2 either in the line-out, and they didn't get much even against Wilkinson for Wellington either later on.
Well, that was a soft take for Alan Whetton. He didn't really have to jump at all. Just landed in his lap as the All Blacks again move up towards the 10-metre line. Kirk. The call on the blind side from Grant Fox. Koroduadua coming through. Took it nicely. Noalu across to Rokawailoa. That's rather an aimless kick straight to Alan Whetton. Good support from Gallagher. And it's all just a little untidy at the moment.
And that's exactly what Fiji want. They want some of that loose ball that rolls around one untidy player.
Plenty of local support, it would seem, for the Fijian side. That's the halfway line, just to the left. With the Pele Rakai to throw for Fiji. In the All Blacks coming through, Wayne Shelford waltzing straight through the Fijian line-out. Work back though to Fiji. Johnny Kumbu got a hand to it. Looked as they might have knocked it on a little. Referees let it go. Tavula on the right wing side. 10-metre line in Fiji territory. Almost halfway through the first half, 20 minutes, and the All Blacks ahead by 16 points to 3. Big scrum here from the All Blacks. We saw the Argentinian scrum pushing Fiji back on Sunday. Wayne Shelford. Awkward for Grant Fox. There's no one out there. He has to change his mind. Craig Green had come in. Oh, there's a pumping tackle on Fox. He's still holding it though. Now the All Black forwards control it. Just out from the 22. On they go. They've lost control of it now, but Fiji have been penalised. Players coming through on the wrong side of the ruck.
Yes, they got a bit frustrated there and just picked it up on the wrong side of the ruck. But they're just not playing tightly enough, the Fijians, and they'll have to do something in terms of even ruck ball. If they can't hold on in scrums, they've got to be a lot tighter in rucks, otherwise they're going to get very little ball to play with.
Practically in front of the post for Grant Fox. That's a second one that's hit the post. This time it's over. And the All Blacks lead by 19 to 3.
what you do if you're Fiji. I think I might have to kick more, put more up and unders, and try and create a little bit of dissension behind the All Black backs. But then that's throwing the ball away. They're really on the horns of a dilemma, wondering what on earth they can do to get more ball.
This one's been pushed a little too far once again. Gary Whetton almost had it. Twin brother Alan has it though. David Kirk with the kick. Flank forward, Vunivalu has a run. No support at all on his own 10-metre line. No discipline in this Fijian play this afternoon. The All Blacks swarming into it. 10 metres out from the 22. Kirk across to Fox. Kirwan standing wide as Alan Whetton. Kirwan again. Everybody in the action. Sean Fitzpatrick trying to set up the maul, and there's hands in there from the Fijians. The All Blacks stamped their authority on this match after just 1 minute and have not released the grip.
Yes, I noticed there that 5 of their tight forwards just didn't even bother to get back onto the right side of that ruck at all. They just hung off on the blind side. And that's sad when you've only been going around about 25 minutes.
Grant Fox so far this afternoon has converted 2 tries and kicked a penalty, so 7 points to go with 22 scored against Italy last Friday. This is about the time Grant Fox will be saying to himself, relax, head down, follow through. Struck it beautifully. Never looked like missing. Second penalty goal to Grant Fox, 22-3.
Well, I'm quite pleased to see Foxy keeping on kicking them, because it means at some other stage in the year that he mightn't kick them, and I hope like the devil that it's when Auckland plays Wellington later on in the year.
Well, the mind boggles as to what the score might be at full time. It's 22-3 now. Anderson calls for it. All Blacks playing with total control in this first half. The Fijians have hardly taken a trick in the first 27 minutes of the game. Kirk to Fox. John Kirwan waltzing through tackles. No one wants to take him down. Came off a Fijian knee, I think. Here's an opportunity for Cama. Tomasi Dharma on the left wing side. He's put his foot in a touch. Osesi Tanga wouldn't believe his luck. He was heading for the line, but this man, Tomasi Dharma, on the left wing side, just put across the touchline.
I thought they'd use Savai more in the middle of the line-out. He's at number 4. 4 back, that is, in the lineup.
Good lead from Gary Whetton. Clean ball again. Taylor turns it back to Stanley, who's charging again with Jones right at his shoulder. That's the 10-metre line of Fijian territory. All Blacks carrying it on left. Taylor. Warwick Taylor. Support from Shelford. And Craig Green has his 3rd try. Once again, the All Blacks encountering little or no opposition here. A good run from Warwick Taylor, dummied to John Gallagher, cut in field, then did the right thing. When you cut in, cut out, as the old saying. And Wayne Shelford was in support, and Craig Green has scored his 3rd try, and we've only had 28 minutes of the game.
Well, that was a classic setup. It was beautifully ruck ball. Spewed back again at pace. They took the right option, Fox did, went blind, And of course there were so many men there in the end. There were about 5 or 6 chaps on the blind to 2 Fijians. They just had to score. But great setup by the New Zealand forwards. Beautiful drive forward, quick ball back. Good night, Naz.
Grant Fox, already 12 points in the match. And that's a massive punt by Fox. Some may be having trouble with the ball, but not this man, Grant Fox.
Well, he's basically striking the ball. It's that relaxing bit that he says to himself, and with in a game like this now, the pressure off, you'll find that he'll kick very well.
3-man line-out called by the Fijians. New Zealand represented by Anderson and the 2 Whettons. Didn't look straight. Alan Whetton, no. At least it was Wayne Shelford. 15 metres out. Fijian captain Rakaroy took it away. They're just going in dribs and drabs at the moment, the Fijians. Big prop forward Walla carries it on, but they're not really making any progress. Just on the 22. Loose ball. Finally, centre 3-quarter Lovakura. Chance again for Vama.
He's playing on his wrong wing. He was going for his wrong foot there too. He should have gone for the line side foot rather than his right one. And it makes a big difference to some people when you change from right to left wing, and he found that difficult then to adapt there.
Good leap again by Alan Whetton. Albert Anderson on the charge to the 22. Ball not lost forward. The referee says carry on. Again, the Fijians under pressure. This time, though, the All Blacks are penalised.
As Warwick Taylor tried to snivel that away while he lay on the ground.
Koroduadua. 1 penalty so far. That's all that Fiji has on the board. The All Blacks leading by 28 points to 3. All Blacks have started it quickly again. Taylor. Scragged and a good tackle by hooker Rakai. All Black forces gathering quickly once more. 10-metre line in All Black territory. There it is for Kirk. To Fox. Gallagher ranging wide again. Craig Green has the run. That's the sort of pass we expect from the Fijians. Across to Johnny Kumba. But he had no support. And really there's no coordination in this Fijian side.
Yes, it was sad. He had 10 chaps, I counted then. 10 Fijians were actually in front of him when he went for that kick back towards touch. And that's just too many guys to have on the wrong side of the ball.
22-metre line in Fijian territory, just to the right in this line-out. A rare line-out win for Fiji. Good clearance by Koroduadua, a man who came on as a replacement against Argentina and Hamilton. Some 6,000 school children here at Lancaster Park this afternoon. Most of the schools around Christchurch have been closed for the afternoon. Once again looking for Michael Jones towards the back. Bounce nicely for Kirk. Change of tactics here from the All Blacks. Wing 3-quarter to Vula. He's not going to find the line. Chance for the All Blacks to open up. Green. A little bit indecisive, and there's a crunching tackle. All Blacks have it again. Fox. Looking for the touchline. Very good kick from Grant Fox, even though it didn't find the line. Vama for Fiji. Fox again. Gallagher. All Blacks running it from everywhere. Warwick Taylor. Did a quick 360. 10-metre line. Fijian territory. Michael Jones. Now there's a line-up. Shelford. Stanley. Kirwan in field. Up toward the 22. Pretty tight in there. John Kirwan is somewhere in amongst it. The All Blacks will be keen to get it back to David Kirk. The backs are all lined to the left.
Well, the Fijians played that ploy where they did put Cama onto this wing to look after Kirwan. He's not doing a bad job. He's not actually knocking him over because Kirwan's so strong and staying on his feet, but he is giving it a real crank. He's at least stopping the man, and he's finding it hard. That is, John Kirwan's finding it hard to beat Tomasi Cama.
This game has been played at a frenetic pace. Michael Jones down with an injury. Crowd here at Lancaster Park today every bit as good as we saw here on Saturday when Scotland played France, and there was between 18 and 20,000 there that day, so one would imagine the same here today. And they've seen an All Black side rampaging around Lancaster Park. Big John Drake back into the All Black team today to complete the All Auckland front row of himself, Steve McDowell and Sean Fitzpatrick. About 6 minutes to go in the first half. Ball held up there in the scrum. The referee, Derek Bevan of Wales, wants the scrum taken again. Kirk, big gap for David Kirk, plenty of speed and easy. Electrifying burst by David Kirk. The Fiji defence just wasn't there. He had plenty of time to think about it, and he really has got some toe, David Kirk, and he flew through the defence and dived in the corner.
Yes, there's one thing here. One, the flanker doesn't come off quickly enough to bowl him. But the point is, it's the beauty of having Kirwan on that right wing. Notice how the wing was, Cama, that is, was terribly worried about his wing, so never ever went near David Kirk and let him have that angled run in behind. And David Kirk's quick enough to take most angles, and he did just that.
There wouldn't be many All Blacks faster off the mark than this little fellow David Kirk. He really can go over the first 10 or 15 metres. Magnificent kick. There's Clive Norling on the left, applauding the kick from Grant Fox, and Tom Ducey, New Zealand referee, on the right.
Well, there's one thing about it, it's always great having a foil, as I said before, like Kirwan. Kirwan takes two men off often the runners, and even though he doesn't make too many runs, as he hasn't done in this first half today, at least he makes it for those players inside him.
All Blacks control it once more. 3 minutes out from half-time. 34 points to 3. Could be all sorts of records set in this test match if the All Blacks carry on. And they've gained a penalty.
He penalised Fiji there for taking the ruck down, collapsing the ruck. It's quite a dangerous ploy. You see some sides send in kamikazes, as a lot of refer to them, to take down these rucks, and it makes it very, very dangerous. And Bevan quickly stepped in there to stop that.
Once again, the shortened line out from the Fijians. They've won little or no ball in this phase of play. This time they have. Varma it was. Ripped away from him by Fitzpatrick. But it was knocked forward.
Yes, of the way he played against the Argentine, I thought Savai would get a lot more ball today.
Now Kirk, way to Fox. Taylor, missing out Stanley. Gallagher scything in again. Can Craig Green take the pass? Gallagher went on his own. Jones was there quickly. Stanley looked as though it was forward. Through the forward pass to Warwick Taylor.
Don't know what Craig Green was doing there coming back. Gallagher has enough pace to go straight through, and he would have gone for the last line of defence. Craig Green would have had his fourth try at least.
Koroduadua again with the kick. But Fiji really on the back foot, and they have been right from the start. 15 metres out from the Fijian line. Albert Anderson goes for the charge. There was some lifting, and the All Blacks are penalised. That's a big kick. And that's landed inside the All Black territory. Close to half time, the All Blacks have scored 5 tries in the first half. Gary Whetton went high. It was untidy though for Kirk.
Yeah, there's been quite a few tap-backs that haven't been as well controlled as one would expect, particularly the state of the game being what it is.
Raka Roy at the back for Fiji, Savai in the middle, and Georgie Dama up front. Looking for Raka Roy, but a nice tap to Nawalu. Haven't seen the Fijian backs in action at all this afternoon. Here's John Kirwan on the charge. Alan Whetton's had another good game, always in support. 10 metres up from the 22 Fijian territory. Kirk. Oh, that man's offside. Must be. Hooker Apeli Rakai. Probably figured it was better to concede 3, but the All Blacks have tapped it. Wayne Shelford sits nicely again for Kirk. Fox. Gallagher in again. Craig Green, number 4 coming up for Craig Green.
He's Craig Green. He mightn't be the fastest guy you've ever seen playing on the wing for New Zealand, but by Jove, he uses what he's got and uses his intelligence terribly well. He's a very, very clever player. I often think that he might make a marvellous centre 3/4 with the amount of skill he has. Just steps inside, look at this again. Moves out, moves around them. Beautiful body swerves and into the, I thought to the corner. But he made it so easy and he beat so many guys in the run to it behind the sticks. Here it is.
And once again, it was set up by Gallagher. But Craig Green this time had to beat 2 or 3 players to score the try.
With New Zealand rucks going like this and the ball being freed very, very quickly like the New Zealand forwards are giving it, Gallagher's going to be a terribly potent force for New Zealand. They're going to find that extra pace that he injects into the blind side when he does come in.
4 of them scored by Craig Green out of the left wing side. A phenomenal first half performance. And that 4 tries by Craig Green equals the New Zealand Test record set by Duncan McGregor way back in 1905 against England. So record certainly going out the window here in this inaugural Rugby World Cup.
Well, I suppose the thing is, what can we say about Fiji on how they hang on? I think they're really they are waiting for Italy. That's about it. It'll have to be an Italian job on the Italians later on next Sunday.
Second half underway. The All Blacks lead by 40 points to 3 as they turn round and play from right to left in the second half. Grant Fox scored 16 points in the first spell. So Alan Hewson's record of 26 in a test match is under threat from this man. Once again, a shortened line-out from the Fijians. They've won little or no line-out ball throughout the game. Once again, the All Blacks have it. Kirk. 10 metres out from the 22. The danger is here the All Blacks will loosen up as a result of being 40-3 ahead.
Yes, some of them might want to get on the end of some of those tries. I bet not many of them want to leave the field anyhow. In a game like this, there's always a chance of perhaps even one of the fat popos scoring a try in the front row.
Fijian side have been outgunned at all aspects of this game. The last time these two sides met in Suva, New Zealand won by 45 points to 0. And only 3 New Zealand players in this team today remain. Grant Fox inside the 22. One of those players, in fact, is Craig Green, Warwick Taylor and Gary Whetton. Craig Green must remember the Fijian experience quite well because he scored a try on that occasion. So also to Gary Whetton, who's never scored a try in an official test match. Early line-out ball here for the Fijians. The kick from Rokawailoa puts pressure on John Gallagher inside his 22, and he took it safely. Doesn't ignore the defensive aspects of the game. Took a nasty bump though as he took the fair catch.
He's a very brave chap. In fact, at times I worry about him being too brave.
The man who came to New Zealand 5 months after leaving school. He did have time though to play a couple of games for London Irish before he came to New Zealand to play for Oriental Rongotai and Wellington. Fijians have won 2 line-out balls in a row. Right wing 3/4, Tabulu had a chance. Now the chase is on again, led by Craig Green, who's sniffing for try number 5. Quickly thrown to Anderson. The All Blacks keeping the game fluid. John Kirwan hasn't had a try yet, but he might get one here. And he will. Clean through. Nobody wanted to tackle John Kirwan. Came in on the inside of Warwick Taylor and waltzed his way round rather than through all the Fijian tackles and simply had too much pace. And the All Blacks have scored their 7th try in the match.
Yes, well, this is an absolute case of the front 5 believing that they never have to make tackles and left it to somebody else. By that stage, with a guy of this man's pace and guile, it was too late. And so it was very, very easy, really. Just running the wrong way and the forwards not endeavouring. That is the Fijian forwards to hit him.
John Kirwan will be stung by the fact that Craig Green has now scored more test tries than he. Green has 8, at least has 9. Kirwan with that one goes to 8.
Yes, he was running around having a look on the other side. He thought it was obviously greener on the green side.
Deadly goal kicking from Grant Fox. His 6th conversion.
Well, I presume things to look for now is to see how well these New Zealand loosies go. One might concentrate on Michael Jones, a Jones boy, for instance.
The All Blacks not bothering to force behind for the 22. Another powerful punt from Grant Fox. 40-3 at half-time, 46-3 now. We've had 3 minutes in the second spell. All Blacks penalised, some lifting going on there in the line-out. And it looks like the big fullback, Koroduadua, is going to kick for goal.
Yes, he's coming out to obviously improve his strike rate. He's a marvellous big player. He played so well too for Fiji against Wellington when we played recently in Suva. A prodigious punter of the ball. In fact, the Fijians call him Big Boot, or they call him the Fijian Don Clark.
Struck it beautifully. Oh, that's a fine kick.
Yes, you'll notice the Mitre balls have flown well off his boot and Fox's too, and it's really because they stroke the ball rather than punch it. Early on, Koroduadua was punching it, and he's obviously learned very rapidly in the last couple of days because he's just stroking it over now, and it seems to be the way to kick these controversial balls, to say the least.
Grant Fox, 18 points so far in the match. Albert Anderson's had a good game for the All Blacks. He's won it again. 5 metres out from the 22. They'll get it finally back to Grant Fox. It's taking a bit of time this time. Back to David Kirk, in fact. There it is. Taylor was standing in. Craig Green. Now Jones to Taylor. Fijians swarming in a little better for the tackles. Fox on the blind side. There's good support from Alan Whetton. All Blacks simply setting it up here. Stanley, Taylor, for John Kirwan to chase. It's a well-judged kick. Koroduadua's made a mess of it. And threw the ball away and has got penalised. Silly move. Kirwan with a tap. Gary Whetton. Very, very close. Whistle might have been a little premature. Gary Whetton could see the try line. He could see his first ever test try.
He was sure sniffing it, wasn't he?
All Black scrum is big and strong. Wayne Shelford, can he get it down? Penalty try. We've had plenty of these at the World Cup, and that's another one.
Yes, these Northern Hemisphere lads love those, don't they?
Well, the Fijian scrum collapsed, and that was probably the ruling.
Yes,
Wayne Shelford couldn't get it down onto the ground, but the scrum had collapsed, and a penalty try.
Well, I didn't know what on earth they could have done to do anything else. They were down on the ground, they couldn't move any further back. There was nothing they could do, and they hadn't collapsed, they went over and back. I thought that was rather harsh in a sense.
But hard to keep up here. 52 points to 6. Grant Fox lands conversion number 7. Takes his own personal tally to 20. And it's a very dejected looking Fijian side that trudges back to halfway. This one will go dead, so the All Blacks will be forced to restart from the 22.
George Simpkins said that the Fijians were going to live to play another day, and that big day for Fiji is obviously on Sunday. So if you're intending going on Sunday in Dunedin, don't give it away yet. They play like this one week and they play brilliantly the next.
10 minutes gone in the second half. The All Blacks 52 to 6 ahead. It came from the knee of Alan Whetton, or it looked as though it had, for Derek Bevan. Says it's a knock-on. Fijian captain Kalinio Rakulroy. Fijians having a run, but again the All Blacks swarming all over them. Nawalu taken down by Warwick Taylor. Joe Stanley across to John Kirwan. A bit of room to move, Kirwan, but the whistle's gone.
Yes, I thought that was a rather flat ball. It wasn't very full, but it's one of those minor mistakes you run across from time to time. You'd think with the size of those Fijians they'd be better at scrummaging. I think it's the fact they don't like it much, really. They're more interested in running, and it's against the natural exuberance of the race, and I think that they obviously don't spend enough time doing it.
All Blacks screw the scrum around, and it comes on the All Black side. Anderson has had a very good game. Grant Fox, here's one for Craig Green. Michael Jones is there to Kirk, and just a hand got in there from one of the Fijians and denied a chance to Alan Whetton.
And when I made that comment about the scrummaging, it's not that George Simpkin hasn't been spending enough time on it. He really has been trying, but I think there's only about one scrum machine in the whole of Fiji, so it shows you they don't get a terrible amount of practice on it.
Sean Fitzpatrick. Fijians contesting a little better in the second half in the lineouts. That really never was going to go into touch. It was a bad angle for a place kick. Green gives it across to Gallagher. The All Blacks looking to attack from their own 22. Craig Green. 10-metre line in All Black territory. Forces slowly gathering. Now Kirk. No support there for David Kirk on halfway. Has it again. Has a third shot at it. Craig Green's got no one out here with him at all. And he's done the right thing, Craig Green, and he's done it well.
Yes, he's displaying the other skills he has. One can't talk too highly of him, really. I've watched a lot of games down here at Christchurch and Shield times, and one always remarks on the tremendous amount of skill he shows in the course of an 80-minute game.
Big leap by Georgie Dharma. The All Blacks have it again, though. Missing out Taylor. Stanley. He'll look for Taylor. Hacked ahead by Warwick Taylor. Ball still loose. Referee waiting for his advantage, though.
There's good advantage again there by Mr. Bevan.
All Blacks have an injury. Steve McDowell has gone down.
Yes, it looks like his ankle.
Big Steve McDowell today playing his 8th international. Hasn't been in the try scoring action so far today. Most have, but he did get his first test try against Italy the other day. Big crowd here at Lancaster Park today has probably found it difficult to enthuse over this game because the All Blacks started so well and the Fijian side really haven't been in it at any stage.
And if for those of you who've joined late the viewing and didn't hear George Simpkin before 3 o'clock talking on the view he went into the game, well, Fiji were going into this particular game with, was that he was very worried about the injuries he had and the way how tired they were, and he was obviously saving them for Italy on Sunday. And I think it's sort of permeated the whole team really. Then they came out almost playing that way. They've played very much in dribs and starts, and nothing like the team we saw against the Argentina, even though the All Blacks have played terribly well.
"15 minutes gone in the second half. The All Blacks led 40-3 at half-time. They're now ahead by 52-6, and they've got a big scrum. However, the Fijians have taken it away. Koroduadua, it's loose. Wayne Shelford. Untidy stuff from the Fijians. They've given it away to the All Blacks. Sean Fitzpatrick. Stay up, said David Kirk. He wants them on their feet. It'll finally come to him. He's having all sorts of trouble getting a hold of it, though. Big prop forward Mosesi Tanga goes for a run. This is more like the Fijian spirit we saw in Hamilton.
Yes, that was the first rush and the first bit of play we've seen from him in that sort of vein.
Still on the 22-metre line in Fijian territory. The All Blacks 8 tries so far in the game. Good leap again by Alan Whetton. He's had some free jumping at the back. Now Kirk to Fox. Taylor. Bray Green. Headed hard. Good support from Stanley. Gary Whetton again, 5 metres out. On the blind side. Gallagher. Oh, dear me. Prize given. No, didn't think so. Roger Quinton said he hit the flag first.
Yes, I think that was a fair call. I'm sorry, Gals.
A 22-metre dropout. What can John Kirwan conjure up from here? He's got to beat his own man first. Does that easily enough. Gets into Fijian territory, has support from Wayne Shelford. Line umpire has the flag out. The Fijians have infringed, but the referee's watching the play at the moment. There's Fred Howard in the background. He saw something he didn't like. Pointed it on the Fijian side. And in fact, one of the All Blacks has been felled.
Yes, it's Kirwan. I think he was probably taken out very late.
Let's have a look at that incident just a minute or so ago when John Gallagher dived for the corner. And it looked fairly obvious, I think, that he whacked the flag. Never really got the ball down at all. And a good decision by Roger Quickenden. Wasn't originally going to do this game, Roger Quickenden. It was Clive Norling who was supposed to be running the line.
This one will notice that they have the English referees. If one's officiating at the game, they put one on the sideline. They obviously need friends out here, or they feel as though they do. And with Bevan being a Welshman and officiating today at this game, Norling should have been on the sideline.
So Grant Fox driving play back as Richard Lowe is warming up. Steve McDowell obviously feels that the ankle injury will take him from the field. All Blacks winning the lineouts by 2-1. Taylor. Joe Stanley on the charge. Straight through. John Gallagher gets his second. All set up by Smokin' Joe Stanley. He really hit this one at pace, and the Fijian defence really didn't want to know about him. Straight through he went, and the support was there. Michael Jones got out again and handed the last pass to John Gallagher, who scored his second.
It was really taken over with the gas was really shoved on by Warwick Taylor, and that's where the impetus for the attack occurred. He ran straight and he ran hard, and then it was easy for Joe Stanley because he sucked Joe off the blocks and he streamed through the hole outside. And then again, ever present, the Jones lad was up outside to flip to Kipper Gallagher.
Eighth conversion for Grant Fox. John Gallagher's got 2 tries. It's 58 points to 6. Richard Lowe still waiting the call.
But you'd never have seen an Argentinian go through 3 tackles like that on Sunday. It was the tackling now is non-existent.
Not a good kickoff. The All Blacks have it under control straight away. Man in front though, Derek Bevan, spied a Fijian player who had got ahead of the kicker at kickoff time, and so back we go to halfway.
This is where the lack of discipline creeps in. When you're well down, you stop thinking, and it's very, very hard to think well when you're on a hiding like this.
May not be required. Richard Lowe. Steve McDowell feels he can carry on at this stage. Gallagher in again. Awkward pass for Kirwan. Nicely flipped to Joe Stanley. Away they go again, the All Blacks. Almost to the 22, carried up by Michael Jones. It'll be a penalty.
I still think he should have allowed advantage there if he'd have been. It was obvious that there were so many backs up that they were going to run well there, but it's good play by the All Blacks.
Stanley across to Kirwan. Standing up John Kirwan. Good hands from Stanley. All Blacks 20 metres out. Now Kirk, there's a real line-up here. Taylor. Good strong running from Warwick Taylor. Charging towards the line, the All Blacks. Now Kirk to Gallagher. Try number 3.
Again, that wide ball out to the blind side. It's a marvellous ball when you can get it. And it takes it so wide round the defence, it makes it very easy.
A series of attacks mounted by the All Blacks. It was Warwick Taylor who took it back in field. He ran very strongly. Had good support there from Alan Whetton, driving up very close to the line. And across it went to John Gallagher. And the Wellington fullback scores his 3rd, the most tries by an All Black fullback in a Test match. That's 9 conversions now to Grant Fox, and according to the Rockman's Rugby Yearbook, the previous record was 8, held by Jay Bancroft at Wales against France in 1910.
Here's this lovely wide pass, but it wasn't really that set it up. It was New Zealand playing well. They were driving down the right-hand touch line, not putting it into touch, continual feeding it back inside to find another player on the burst in support and coming off the rump of the player distributing. Good play by the forwards.
Grant Fox surveys the options. And really this is an absolute bath. We've got about 16 or 17 minutes still to go in the game. Grant Fox has 24 points in the Test match. Well, the Italian side might have been a little ashamed in their performance against the All Blacks on opening day. One wonders how the Fijians feel today.
I don't think they'll be too downhearted, actually.
Alan Whetton did the leaping. There was some pushing going on, though. Shot at goal coming up from Severo Koroduadua.
Well, I'm absolutely convinced that the Fijians came out not really worrying about this game at all. And once that creeps through a team, psychologically you're away. And that's exactly what they've been. They thought, well, we'll go out and we'll try it. If it works early, we get a couple of quick tries or early tries, or New Zealand plays poorly, we'll have a crack. Otherwise, we won't worry too much. It's all on Italia Sunday.
Points in the game then to Fiji. Unfortunately for them, the All Blacks have got 64.
Well, you'd think that the All Blacks would loosen up, but there's still plenty of discipline being applied, and that's good. They're really roaring into it together. They're trying to roll the mauls a wee bit more, which is fair enough at this time of the game, and with the cushion and points that they've got, but they still haven't really loosened up. And if you're frightened that we might have been taking them a bit easily, or they might take the next opponent a wee bit easily, don't worry too much. I think they'll give Argentina heaps too when they play in Wellington on Monday.
Gary Whetton quickly there. It was taken in though by Thunga for Fiji. Once again the All Blacks penalised. Just 12 metres inside Fijian territory.
Just talked about the discipline. It blew me away.
Nawalu taps it. Rokawailoa. Johnny Kumbu changes direction. No conviction in this running at all. Finally it's Tavula who makes the burst.
Yes, the big difference between the Argentinians and the All Blacks playing against them is the fact that they've come up and they've taken up that space, as we say. They've given them no room to move in at all. Really roared into them.
Former All Black Wayne Smith, interested spectator. Chance here for the Fijians. Rakai, the hooker, has a burst. Inside the 22. Gary Whetton disturbs the ball for the Fijians. Rokawailoa over the 22. It was knocked forward by Fiji, the referee waiting for advantage.
Wrong option too. Sad. He got pressurised and going inside, and he had a lineup of about 7 on 4 on the left-hand side of the field from that quick ruck. The Fijians, one of the few, they won.
David Kirk on the New Zealand 22. All Blacks have scored 10 tries so far this afternoon. 3 of them from John Gallagher. Players involved in the match tomorrow between Italy and Argentina here at Lancaster Park. More line-out ball for the All Blacks. Fox, Stanley, Michael Jones. 5 metres inside Fijian territory. Now John Kirwan has plenty of room to move. Getting away from Cama. Well, you would have anticipated in an All Black performance that has produced 10 tries that John Kirwan might have scored more than one. But play really hasn't run his way at all, and he had to score his only try out on the left wing side.
I think in the next 10 minutes you might find him creeping in onto that same side again, Grant.
Rokawailoa gives it to Kumbu. Wild pass across to Tuvala. And that's into touch. Was kicked from inside the 22. Hardly surprising that things are starting to slow down just a little. 10 minutes remaining in the game. The All Blacks ahead by 64 points tonight. Good take towards the back of the line, and again by Alan Whetton. Kirk to Fox, running it back towards his forward support. Once again, they're all there. Sean Fitzpatrick has stayed out of it, though. He wants to have a little run. Over to Alan Whetton. Just a body charge, really, from the Fijians, rather than the tackle. The ball in touch.
Yes, it was actually in touch. Crowd are giving Whetton, don't they? They love to hate a little bit of stick. But he was dead right. I think the crowd might want to see the ball move now. They've conceded that it's a riot, and now they want to see some spectacular Sunday afternoon stuff.
Another great take towards the back by Wayne Shelford. David Kirk probing. Jones is there. Lovely flick pass. Well lined up here, the All Blacks. Stanley to the 22. Warwick Taylor's there in support. 20 metres out. Wayne Shelford took it away. The Fijian side were offside.
He was still having that little look. He wasn't freeing it too fast. He's having a sneaky game.
Grant Fox changes the direction of play. Stanley. John Drake is there. Albert Anderson has to go. What a thumping tackle. Albert Anderson went down. And I think it hurt.
Boy, I bet it did. They should have been putting a few of those in earlier on. That was a massive tackle. There was another staple, as we call it, where you bend in a U around a guy's shoulder. They perpetrated it on Warwick Taylor at midfield when he cut back there too. Two bruising, but really bruising tackles.
The man who's now New Zealand's most capped second 5/8. Rather surprising, though, wasn't in favour late last season. He was left out of the Tour de France. But he's come back with a vengeance this season.
Yes, he's got a great work rate. It was one of the reasons why Canterbury always played terribly well in the last 10 minutes too. He works all day.
About 8 minutes to go in the game. Loose ball over the line. It'll have to be forced. 5-metre scrum.
The fact that they haven't found those, or they have only one scrum machine in the whole of Fiji has obviously made it difficult for them, as you can see by the way they're scrummaging.
Another big shove coming up from the All Blacks. Carried on by Wayne Shelford and Alan Whetton, and Alan Whetton it is who gets the try. Try number 11.
And deservedly so. I think Alan Whetton's played terribly well and close and tight today.
Combination between Wayne Shelford and Alan Whetton, and in fact Shelford dragged Whetton through and threw him over the line, and Alan Whetton has the try.
Yes, it couldn't have happened to a guy who's played harder today than I think any other All Black forward. I think he's been the star today, and he deservedly scored a try. They had to play it tight. New Zealand did early on. They started tight, and he was one of the reasons or the causes of playing it tight. Has played a very good tight game.
If Grant Fox can land this conversion, it'll equal Alan Hewson's world record of 26 points in a test match. He's hit the post 3 times today, and Grant Fox is running out of time. He's got 24 points in this test, and there are 6 minutes to go.
Yes, well, they're two great goal kickers. They'd be two of the best goal kickers in the world, and Alan Hewson's still kicking terribly well in Wellington, and he would still be one of the best goal kickers in the world.
Koroduadua. The All Blacks will probably open this up 1-up. Grant Fox. Kirwan is there looking for work. Gallagher lined up with Green. Joe Stanley. Strong body charges by the Fijians, finally taking Stanley to ground. There it is. Fox, Green, Gallagher. Good support from Jones. Gary Whetton. Lost it forward. They'll have to come back.
Still grand support again by these forwards. They're very athletic, these New Zealand forwards. They can all run a bit. As you saw there, the lock, Gary Whetton being able to move too. And it's great once you break out, you see these big men running and passing well with the ball too.
Another big scrum from the All Blacks. Wasn't offside, according to Derek Bevan. Oh, the passes are going everywhere. Kirwan's grabbed it. Taylor. Grant Fox might get a try. This will be the world record. No, he can't do it. And Michael Jones can't hold it either.
Both will be upset with that.
Three or 4 minutes remaining in the match. 68 points to 9. Wait for the big shove here from the All Blacks. Koroduadua. The man who scored all the points for Fiji this afternoon with 3 penalty goals. The sun has re-emerged at Lancaster Park, and it's shining on a very good All Black performance. 68 points to 9. Here go the backs again. Joe Stanley. Strong effort from him. 10 metres out from the 22. Gary Whetton has had a good second half. Carried on by his brother Alan Whetton. Over the 22 they go. Eleven tries scored by the All Blacks.
For an American ball now, we could actually give a little wee mic to Foxy and say, I'd stand behind this scrum if we get half a chance or we win a tight head and go for drop.
Another big scrum from the All Blacks. Nawalu safely away to Rockawailoa. Once again, there's no understanding amongst the Fijian backs, but this time the right winger Tabula has a big run. He's fast. Good tackle by David Kirk. All Black forwards back in support. Wayne Shelford it was. Brave little fellow this one, David Kirk. That was a great tackle on the winger. Another opportunity here for the All Black back division. Gallagher's up, scything through. He'll run Kirwan and can he? No, Gallagher. Number 4 for John Gallagher.
I don't like those guys doing those shoulder rolls. They have a score a try like that after watching Simba from Zimbabwe the other day. But he's very quick, and that was just another example of Gallagher racing through the middle there. Lovely turn of pace. I felt that classically he should have given it to Kirwan, but when a man scores, there's not much you can say.
John Kirwan didn't get the pass. John Gallagher scored the try. Grant Fox adds the extra 2, and that's the record equaling 26 points. He now shares the record with Alan Hewson. Couple of minutes to go in the game. The All Blacks scored 70 against Italy. They've now scored 74, so their highest score in a test match. That record goes as well. The records are tumbling. Here's the one last effort from the All Blacks. John Kirwan across to David Kirk, just playing with the Fijians now. Gallagher has scored 4 today. So's Craig Green. Held up again. Johnny Kumbu stole the march on the All Blacks, but it's been taken back by Alan Whetton. One last rally here from the Fijians. Vunivalu. Left wing 3/4 Cama. The All Blacks are there involved though. Kirwan comes away with it. John Kirwan inside his own 22. Time is almost up on the clock. Taylor to Green. Support from Taylor again. Alan Whetton's been lurking on the left wing. Nobody wants to pass to him. The Fijians away again. Nawalu, the halfback. Thumping tackle on the big prop forward. Kumbu again with a kick. Gallagher looking into the sun, took it nicely just out from the 22. Everybody having a go in this last minute or two. Grant Fox has tidied it all up.
Perhaps he may have run had he known he's close to that record.
"12 tries the All Blacks have scored. They scored 12 against Italy. Grant Fox has added 26 points with his boot. Fox, All Black backs, maybe their last chance. Warwick Taylor takes it in. 10 metres out from the 22. All very awkward for David Kirk. Chased by Gideon Dromo. Here's a big burst from Vama. Fijians getting very close to their only try of the match. Vama again, and he did. Georgie Vama. Well, it all started from behind the All Black scrum. It was very untidy. David Kirk had all sorts of problems. Finally, Steve McDowell took it in, but he was dumped. And the initial burst came from the man who finally scored the try, Georgie Vama. He had good support from halfback Nawalu. It looked as though it had broken down close to the line, but Vama was there again. And he got Fiji's consolation try.
Yes, well, his big, strong running, this is what we've come to expect from him. We only wish we had seen a lot more this afternoon. And he comes back infield here to give it to Thama, and there's no stopping this big man when he starts crunching here. I think discretion was a better part of valour on John Kirwan's part there too.
Another one hits the posts. 74 points to 13. And it looks as though there's still time to go.
Well, even in a hypercritical sense, I think one would have to say that this All Black pack, particularly, have made very few mistakes. And the backs have played well too. Particularly Warwick Taylor. He's tidied up. He's been a loose forward on his own midfield. He's general to midfield. And he's given it a lot of oomph when he's tried to get Joe Stanley on the burst by making him run onto the pill.
Time up on the clock. The All Blacks 74 to 13 ahead. Taken in by Fitzpatrick. Taylor standing in at first 5'8". Fox was at second 5. Another line up here for the All Blacks. Gallagher scything through. Kirwan. Is this the last one for the All Blacks? Support from Craig Green, who wants 5. Can't get it though. And that's it. An emphatic victory for the All Blacks. Their second inside a week. And that's the final score. 74 points to 13. 12 tries scored by the All Blacks. 4 by John Gallagher, 4 by Craig Green. And 26 points from the boot of Grant Fox. 74 to 13.
Well, as you can see from the way the kids ran out there, the All Blacks have certainly reinstated them as national heroes. And one would have to say that they played particularly well, particularly in that first 10 minutes when it was going to matter psychologically. They really got in and demolished Fiji, and from that time on, they were only going to feed on crumbs. A grand performance, even though Fiji were weakened by the psyche of realizing that all they had to do was wait for this game on Sunday.
So will that sort of victory, Earl, benefit New Zealand at all?
Well, yes, it will, because again, it keeps brimming with confidence, and they've all had a good run. And no one, I thought, other than maybe McDowell's been hurt, so the attrition hasn't been too great, and that's a big thing when you've got, hopefully, 4 games for the All Blacks to play. We get through to that final at Auckland. And I think that it will make a big difference in terms of fitness and sharpness, and I thought they looked sharp there today.
All sorts of records tumbling this afternoon. At least half a dozen went by the boards. Craig Green equalled a New Zealand record for tries in a test match that was equalled later by John Gallagher, 4 apiece. They joined Duncan McGregor, who scored 4 against England in 1905. Grant Fox has broken the record for number of conversions. He's equalled Alan Newson's world record of 26 points. The All Blacks have scored their most points in a test match. The record's really tumbled here today, and the All Blacks won by 74 points to 13. And their next match is against Argentina.
Yes, I don't think they'll be too downhearted. The great thing about it is that you'll find that just like Auckland, when we beat them by about 68 points before they played Wellington and Seven, we found them terribly tough. A week later, 7 changes they made in the team to play Wellington. And I thought we played well as Wellington, but it was very, very hard. And I think next week you'll find it they'll play very well again.
OK, let's go into the stand now. Tony Palmer has David Kirk.
Well, David Kirk, very hard to be critical of his side when he just scored 3/4 of a century, but were you happy with the fluency of the backs?
Well, I was disappointed with Fiji, I'll say that to start with. I believe their performance lacked fortitude and didn't really do them justice as a side.
You don't think that it's justifiable in the context of a pool situation in the World Cup to do what they've done?
I understand why they've done it. That's not to say that I think that a markedly substandard performance is justified. I hope they beat Italy. They've obviously set themselves to do that. As far as our performance was concerned, we stuck to the task. We made mistakes. We weren't as accurate and as efficient as we could have been. That reflects to some extent the opposition and to some extent our shortcomings. We'll have to address that before the next match.
In the first half, you seemed to have absolutely unfettered control in the set play and certainly in the scrums holding on to it. Was that just looking to set things up, or was that just the way you intended to play it?
Well, we did want to play a controlled game against Fiji after watching them play Argentina. We knew that if the loose ball was left lying around, they'd be very quick to grab it. So that was certainly a tactic of ours.
You seem to be holding on to it for quite some time.
In the scrum? I didn't notice it markedly. Perhaps it was easy to see from where you were.
David Kirk, thank you very much. Congratulations. Well done. We'll try and get a word now to Collie Rackleroy, if we can. Collie, is that game just in the context of a World Cup competition where you only need 2 wins? Was it the intention of Fiji to go in today without worrying too much about a win?
We were looking forward for the game against Italy because most of the guys got injury. And also we want to get all the guys to play a game each so we can look forward for a bigger team against Italy and hope for the best against for the qualifying.
Is there anything you can take from your team's performance today that gives you heart looking forward to Italy?
Oh yeah, looking forward for the game against Italy, but I hope the boys, especially coming down to yesterday and having just a light run in another game today, I think that was really tie the boys up today. And I hope we'll have another good team against, looking forward to the game against Italy.
Collie Rackleroy, thank you very much.